Hi, good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thanks. What happened today? We are only 7. Everybody's busy in, I think, New Year celebrations. Okay, so in last class, we were discussing about mechanical material handling. Just give me another 1 minute. I'll just take out our previous notes. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, we can discuss. Participants are increasing. Okay, fine. I'm sharing my screen now. Once you're able to see my presentation, just say yes in chat box so that we can start.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, thanks. So once again, very good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so as we started in our last class, so we started our safety engineering 1, which is IS 102. In that topic, we have discussed about manual material handling, and we started mechanical material handling also. So in between, we talked about the flow of materials, how it starts from supplier to the till customer, what are the various documents which will involve, and also we have seen a simple SAP material flow as well. Then we have seen what are the different classifications of material handling, and we have seen various list of equipments and tools and tackles which used in the mechanical material handling. Then we talk about the general requirements and also the hazards with respect to mechanical material handling. Then we have seen different types of equipments which we use for material movement, shifting, lifting in a high level, which is about material handling. Then we have discussed about SWL, safe working load, and also we discussed about the practical issues we will see in the ground level. So displaying of the inspection dates, which is nothing but calibration dates and due dates, and which is also important that the unique number identification. So definitely all the lifting tools and diagrams should have a unique number so that it is easy for at the time of inspection, I mean internal or external, and also it is easy to remove from the service in case of any damage. For example, you'll have n number of safety belts, but we have not done any numbering for that safety belts. So generally, we went for an inspection. We have seen out of 15 or out of 100 two were damaged, and we have informed to a discard. but we don't know which it is when it is purchased or when it is last calibrated. We don't know the history of that belt itself. So that's why if you have any history, so we will have a record. For that, we need to have a unique identification number. It is up to the organization how they do this numbering. If I see,
Also, we are the tag marking color coding system is for particular year.
yeah, that is also happens for the color coding. Also, sometimes what will happen, half yearly they do, sometimes quarterly they will do. They'll put
No, sir, it's
four different colors.
yearly, sir. In Maharashtra, yearly the
No,
competent
as per
person
the
will
legal,
come
it
and
is
check it.
yearly. Sometimes what will happen, some of the organizations, they do internal inspections, color coding. They'll make a chart. They will give the color coding actually. Quarterly wise, they do internal inspections. Even in Andhra and Karnataka also, it is yearly as per the Factories Act.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Again, for the calculating the SWL, again, we have the basic formula. So the minimum braking load quoted by the manufacturer and also a factor of safety. So if I say a factor of safety, it is also gives by the manufacturer itself. If you really want to see that, if you have any web links in your organizations, there they will give the factor of safety 1:5 or 1:7. In the sense, it is also a breaking point. 1:7 in the sense 5 times the load. If you're applying on that specific sling, it will break on immediately. That is the factor of safety. Few of them will have 1:7. A few of them will have 1:5. And there is another thumb rule for calculating this wire rope slings of, the capacity of the slings, the D square into the weight of the slings. There it will come. For example, if it is 12 mm1, you will make it 12 square into 8. That will be the capacity of the wire rope sling. Apart from this, they'll have near the eye area where you get the wire rope sling. There also it is already embossed on the clamp itself, the weight of, the capacity of the SWL. And again, web slings are completely different scenarios while using in the work field. So we apply these web slings because of its flexibility on our own manner. It depends on the job requirement. So these are a few applications or the way we use these web slings. So this is the one way, which is a straight lift. Here we have two eyes, the two end points. If you are applying one end with a load and the other end is on the EOT crane or any hoist. And the other one is, which is called a choke method. There the load will be applied in between the circle and the other point, which is hanged on the hoist. The third one, a basket hitch, a straight inclination, choke inclination. So these are the various basic methods we use these web slings for lifting and shifting of the materials. Again, these are a few color codes for the easy identification of the capacities of the belts. So I have taken the reference of one of the company. I'm now not able to recall the company name. It is also a very famous company, internationally available. So they have these color codes. If it is in a violet, it is a 1 ton. If it is a green color belt, it is capacity of 2 ton. If it is yellow, 3 ton. If it is gray, 4. And if it is red, 5, and so on. And there is another way of identifying the capacity of the belts also again. So there they have different lines. So if it is in a 1 ton belt, they'll have a 1 ton stitch on the belt. If it is a 2 ton, you will have 2 stitches on the center of the belt. It will be in a black color. If it is a 3 ton, you will have 3 lines in the center. If it is 4, you will have 4. If it is 5, it is 5. If it is even 8, you will have 8. If it is have 16, you will have 16 stitches on the a belt. And another way of looking this capacity of belt is, this is how this belt looks. Again, here you have, sorry, I have not drawn properly. Again, here you will have an eye. In between the eye, here you will have a tag. In this tag also, they will give the capacity of the belt. Due to usage, these tags will get worn out on very easily while applying these choker methods. So it is always good to have again an external tag on this eye area so that we can able to understand when these belts have been calibrated. Even for this also, they will give the rejection criteria as well, at what conditions we have to reject these belts. One is in case of any stitches damage, in case of any cut, in case of any puncture of the belt, in case of any, if it is exposed to any heat. Those are a few rejection criteria. Even that also we have to display in the work areas, so that if somebody sees that criteria of any one of the belt which is meeting, then immediately we can discard, because otherwise a tear can make a bigger damage if you are lifting any even 1 ton of load. We should be very careful. So here, if you see, if you are lifting in a straight manner, what will happen? The belt can able to lift 1 ton of weight, which is designed for 1 ton. Then it can able to lift 1 ton. In the same belt, if you are using a choker method, so here it can able to lift only a 0.8, which means 80% of the capacity of the belt. Even we could see the incidents, the workers used to tell that, sir, मैं तो same जो capacity का belt है वही belt use किया था, but फिर भी वो belt कट हो गया, accident हुआ. So here we have to think about how the worker has applied, what method he has used. Either he has used a straight lifting, or he has applied a choker, or he has used a basket which is up to 7 degrees. Either he has used in a different method which is 7 to 45 degrees or 45 to 60 degrees. Maybe these degrees we can see if they are lifting any boxes. I mean, this U shape mostly we'll get if you're lifting any circular objects. So if you see the same 1 ton belt, if he is lifting with a 7 degree, it can able to lift 2000. It is not mean that we can lift up to 2000, I mean 2 ton, but it has a capacity to lift 2000. That is also a strong point we have to communicate with the workers. It is not mean that you can able to lift up to 2000. Here it is meaning that the belt has a capacity to lift up to 2 ton, but we are supposed to lift only 1 ton. So I always recommend, if you are using any web slings, ask your supplier. Even with the belt itself, you will get these kind of guidance card in the each belt. So you can create a copy of it and make a big signages and put it in your workplace, so that if they got any doubts, if they got any differences, they can immediately refer this chart so that they can won't take any shortcuts. Now we'll see some of the points with respect to design and construction operation of this lifting equipment. So basically, the hoist limit switch to cut off the power, and also apply brakes when hook cage rises to the predetermined level to prevent the overwinding. So what it is? What kind of control it is?
Engineering
Hoist
control.
limit switches. So these are the engineering controls. So there will have a sensor. Once it reaches to the maximum point, close to the drum, the wire rope drum, then it will cut off. Over and above, even though you are pressing the button to raise the hoist, it won't operate. Even same way, if you have multiple cranes in your single workshop, there also will have anti-collision sensors. So that is also one kind of engineering controls to avoid the hitting each other. Then limit switches to prevent the over traveling or also over transferring, and these limit switches should automatically reset within the reasonable distances and travel in the opposite directions. Again, that is also same. Emergency push button for prompt use. Again, in the remotes will have emergency push buttons, so that if you have any multiple EOT cranes, so you can't stop everything on the remote. And for that, we can have a separate system apart from the remotes. You will have dedicated emergency push buttons to shut off the complete supply of all the EOT cranes. Then position of interlocking to prevent the circuit breaker of the being closed unless the controls are in off and position. The safety points for operation, no loading over the SWL, and also marking of SWL, and also load indicators for varying the SWLs. So these are the few safety cautionary signs we should place where we do have a regular